Hi, this is Alex of Wheel of Founders, and I'm here with Matt Crowe of aha.com. And Matt, could you please introduce yourself and what are you doing with aha?
Sure. So I'm Matt Crowe, the founder and CEO, and we let anybody submit their ideas to our site, and we leverage the crowd, our community, to vote, comment, and collaborate around those ideas, and ultimately the best ones are brought to life. So I call it social ideation.
Okay, cool, thanks. Social ideation, that's like a really huge concept that is a really fucking big idea that you have behind it. I mean, you really make dreams come true for a lot of people, I think. So, but what actually makes you think that this is gonna be the next big thing in the internet? So,
Yeah. So yes, it is. It is a really big thing, a big gnarly animal, and it's complex. And anything big is hard and challenging, and kind of sometimes even for myself, it's hard to wrap my head around how big the opportunity really is. Simply just because everybody has ideas constantly, all the time, and most people don't have the resources or the time or money, or they have fears of success or failure, whatever it is, to bring those ideas to life. So for us, it's been a big challenge to keep the product focused enough, but at the same time go after the big market opportunity, which is really to capture your aha or your idea on the go and really turn the brand into similar to the way Google has really just owned search. So you don't even say, I'm going to search it. You say, I'm going to Google it, right? I want people to do that same thing for ideas. Say, I have an aha, right? And I think that's our big market opportunity.
okay, cool. So you mentioned that you think that everybody has great ideas. I think there are a lot of folks out there that tend to disagree on that point. So what makes you so sure that your assumption is true?
So I don't know if I said everybody has great ideas. I said everybody has ideas. You need to be clear on that because there's a lot of shit ideas too, and a lot of mediocre ideas. Actually, I kind of rank them on aha, and even with people, I think they have like levels of ideas. You know, like an A idea that they don't want to tell anybody about, or like a B idea or C, D, E, F, G kind of thing. Those ones down further, they'll tell anybody. And even these ones up the chain, they're sharing on aha. So our goal is to get them to want to share all of their ideas, the ones that they hold closest to themselves. Because in reality, if you don't do something with your idea, who cares, right? If you have it sits in your head, and then 20 years later, oh, I had this idea for this, new beer mug. Well, good for you, right? Like, who cares? Unless you do something about it, it doesn't matter, right? And there's this kind of like, especially in America, there's this entitlement culture that's happened, that people have became litigious, like you're saying about the Samsung corners, and there's Apple sued them for it, right? Versus just, I really think that the future of the internet, just actually like Flickr, if you guys have seen Flickr, right, and photo sharing, so they use Creative Commons. And 10 years ago, if you would have said to somebody that you're going to share your photo online, people would be like, you're going to do what? You're going to share like, it just wasn't. And now you're Instagramming your photo, and it syndicates all your networks. So I think the same thing is going to happen with ideas. And whether those are good ideas or bad ideas, that's not for me to determine, or for aha, that's for the users in the crowd.
Okay, cool. So if I'm going to submit an idea on aha.com, could you lead me to the main steps in the process that you will experience as a user?
Yep. So, all right, look at the camera or over here, does it matter? No? Okay. So basically, the first critical key step is just to submit your idea. So we have a little enter your idea and hit claim kind of thing. From that point, we let you upload some content around your idea, like some description and video and images and that kind of thing. And some newer things that the new iterations will have now too is just some additional tagging and hashtagging and URLs and that kind of thing to just bring in similar content as well, so you can help very clearly define exactly what your idea is. Because I think what happens is people have these ideas that are very kind of like high level, like peanut butter jar. There should be a better peanut butter jar, but unless we know, or unless the other people know what color it is, what shape, what size, what material, what does it not look like, things like that. So we let users do that, and then from that point, we push it out into the crowd. So we let them decide how public or private and who to syndicate into their network. And once it's in the community, then the crowd starts doing their thing, voting and commenting. And some of the newer stuff they'll have too is a lot more collaboration and ultimately taking just an idea that you had as you're walking down the street and up there should be a better peanut butter jar, and actually moving it down the execution scale of, okay, well, it would look like this or feel like that or sell for this price or have this kind of, special peanut butter that makes it magical or whatever it is in it that makes it unique.
So, especially for you as a startup, it's really important to think about customer development and grow a user base. And your ideal user base is like pretty much everyone. Because if you think like everyone has ideas, everyone could use AHA. And I believe over the past few months, when you track your stuff, you probably have experienced that you reach some people and you don't reach all the customer segments. So how do you handle that?
So, yes. Again, our customer segment is, as your business model generator, is mass market, right? So that is a blessing and a curse, right? Because the good side of it is that anybody has ideas. The bad side is it's hard to narrow in on who your target market is and really iterate the product well around that, because everybody has ideas. So we have kind of pulled back a little bit. Not so much that we are pushing people away, but our core target audience is Generation X and Y. 18 to 35, male, female. I could give you some deeper demographics, but mostly not around because I want to push the older generation away, but because that generation is accustomed to bringing their ideas to life a certain way already, right? So they're used to filing for patents and hiring a bunch of consultants and engineers to do a bunch of work and start a legal entity and that kind of thing, where our generation and even younger, like high schoolers, it's all about sharing content. Everything. Quora, it used to be in the past you would make money and make a living from sharing your knowledge, retaining your knowledge, right? So like your dad had a job because he knew something very particular about a certain industry, and that's why he was employed to do that or had a company, whatever. In our generation, it's the exact opposite. So it's the more you show the world that you're knowledgeable about a certain area, the more value you add, the more people want to hire you to do things, right? So I think what's happening with AHA and what I see is that there's this huge younger generation that's really that I care about the most. We still get a lot of these, 35 plus also, and I'm not pushing them away by any means, but I'm not going to change their psychology on how they bring an idea to life, because that's how they've done it, and they're going to have more questions. That's the biggest thing, and more concerns, versus like our generation is yeah, awesome, share it, good, who cares if something comes out of it, cool, if not, no worries. That's really like the mindset, versus other people are like, well, wait a minute, what do I get? We're like, and we have all those specifics too, but that shouldn't be the first thing that comes to people's mind. That should be like a later afterthought after, it's already a success or something like that. And I think that's the big reason that prevents innovation. So I think there's this huge logjam globally. When you talk about who is our users, it is everybody around the world that has ideas all the time. And through history, because of the especially in the U.S., the patent system and becoming a litigious culture, people don't want to share because they're just afraid that they're going to lose out on, a patent or making money from it or whatever. And then by doing that, they actually end up losing out altogether. So my goal is just to kind of break open that big logjam and just, it's almost like John Lennon or something was all about, just be free. I want to be all about just share your fucking ideas. Just who cares? Just share them and have something happen with them potentially,
Okay, cool. And how do you try to grow your customer base? I've seen that you have implemented as well Facebook Connect, as you have social sharing, but do you have any other tools that you are going to use or are already using and that you would suggest to any other startup out there?
So we do use Facebook Connect now, not as well as we should. And actually, that's a big mistake I made from day one. that the next iteration of the site will have this heavily integrated is Facebook's Open Graph and their API, meaning the same thing that happens with like Instagram or Quora. Whenever you do anything, it's auto-fed to your Facebook wall because there's already a community of people there doing things, right? And in theory, the best people, at least for our business model, the best people to help you with your idea and your closest and best advocates are going to be your family and friends, right? And the majority of your Facebook followers are family and friends. So that would be something for sure. I would never start another consumer internet company without from day one, like literally just everything that happens just blasted to Facebook kind of thing, which I didn't do a good job of, which our new iteration will have that pretty heavily. And then also just mobile, same thing there where we're going to release a mobile app soon also that just, people have net extra time, as I'm like rocking up over here, it's like, check your thing. You got 2 free minutes where we never had that before in history. So it's just a way to, even if it has limited features, it becomes an additional tool, and I think people, especially younger generation, are just plugged in all the time. Like literally, I'm like available 24/7 for the most part. So for us, and I think other businesses too, that having a mobile app just to do some of those kind of micro tasks that you could do, not that the whole platform service offers, but just some kind of limited functionality is really key also.
Cool. You already said that it's not your main concern, but anyways, when people put up their ideas, what do you do as how to come to protect the ideas of your users?
What I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't say it. Yes, it's definitely not my main concern. It's a huge concern though. I mean, I have a team of attorneys working on this all the time. Okay, so it's not like something that we're saying, screw idea protection altogether. I'm just saying it needs to change. And part of our core value proposition to users long term is, and I think what will become most disruptive about AHA, is the ability to share your idea and have some level of protection with it. And whether that's even at a minimum from our trusted brand, right, of AHA is there looking out for the little guy, the David versus Goliath, or whether that's with tools that we have like Creative Barcode, and or our next iteration will have Creative Commons integrated also as ways to allow you to share your content and be attributed for it at a minimum. Maybe there's a financial gain from it also, but at least you're attributed for it. At least people knew that you came up with that idea. I think that's a really good start to the direction of socially sharing innovation. And we're doing all sorts of cool stuff, like with our terms of service. We learned a lot what people liked and what they don't. And literally, my team and I are constantly working on ways to make idea sharing possible without giving away all of the user's rights. And it's a hard balance. It's a really fine line to walk because at the same time we're a company and we have expenses and all that kind of thing, and we need to make money also. But I really believe in this. The future of the world is not having patents and suing each other like you're talking about with Samsung and Apple. That's not the future. That actually it
Hope so.
well, no, but it stifles innovation. It really does. And these are laws that were put into place 100 years ago that people today are still taking advantage of to make to commercialize products and to have monopolies on products. And that's fine for big companies and because they have the wherewithal and the horsepower to do that. But everyone else in the world, they can't do that because they don't have the money to pay big IP litigation firms or consultants or whatever to do that. And it really prevents new ideas, people wanting to do new ideas because they're afraid of getting sued, right? And that's a huge problem, in my opinion. And it's a clusterfuck altogether. And actually, you'll see, I never, I don't know if it's like this in Germany. I'm sure it is also. But in the U.S., the definition of an inventor, right, is somebody that has imagined something. Imagine something up that could be a potential product that you can commercialize, okay? So that means like, come up with your new iPad idea. Okay, well, great, because you can make money on it longer term. But that was 100 years ago when it was really hard to produce a product or to distribute it or that kind of thing. Now, today, I can go online in 3 seconds. I can upload a design, produce it real time on demand, and ship it all within like a minute if I wanted to. So the future is not, in my opinion, the future is market share and not IP, like keeping people out of your space. I mean, I think that's a good defensive strategy for big companies, and we have to do it also at some level. But really, like, if you were to ask somebody why Google is Google, it's not because of their intellectual property. There is far superior technologies out there today than Google's internet search, but they have market share and they have a brand, and you cannot compete with that. And any day of the week, as a company owner, I would rather have a product that's selling like crazy than have a product that has great IP that is not moving at all.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the difference of where the future is going with platforms like Etsy and Quirky and Kickstarter and Indiegogo and all the crowdsourcing and crowdfunding sites, Shapeways, Locomotion. I could go down the list of guys that are in the similar same crowdsourcing space as us. And that's what will allow great innovations to happen. Things like solutions to problems that people never thought were possible, like cures to diseases and social and economic issues also, not just products that are great widgets, but really big movements also. And I think that's my main mission, at least.
Okay. Just a quick reality check. I've seen on your blog that in March there was the first idea that really was developed into a product, right? That was a sleeper sleeve. And I haven't seen any products afterwards. So what has happened in the meantime?
So we have a second product right behind it also. Look, it's hard to bring any product to market. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy, a lot of money, all the above. In the very near future, we're going to publicly announce, I'll tell you guys afterwards, but we'll publicly announce where that product will be, which is a tremendous success for it, and a big kind of first case study for us. And really since then, I've even pivoted a bit with the company also and focusing on making our platform more scalable also, because that model is really great, and we'll always continue to do that model in some form or fashion, but we've iterated our platform to be able to allow users to do more of the collaboration and distribution and all of that side of things that allows us to scale much larger, and really makes us more of a infotech company instead of a consumer products company, which I think is we're kind of a little bit of both actually. But so yeah, that's what we've been working on, and it's hard.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, your whole business model is based on the idea that great ideas, or at least ideas, are coming, and some of them will be great. So what do you do as how to come to support great ideas that are going to be submitted in the future? And do you think about any other business models for your service?
Yeah, definitely. So we use all sorts of cool stuff behind the scenes, like predictive analytics and machine learning and genetic algorithms to help us understand and identify which ideas are the best, why, demographics and psychographic information and market information behind the scenes that we use is like an intelligence engine, really, is what we're able to do, is understand in advance which products people want before the market ever knows what they want. I lost track of the question. Sorry.
The question was more. Once again, the question at the end was more or less like, when you think about your business model, and you're getting some share of, I think like the inventor of an idea now has like 10%, and the rest percentage is split up between the people that are collaborating and helping, and so just like, is that enough as a business model for you, or do you need anything else?
So that's what we've been working on all summer. Is that actually is like any early stage company, things change. You pivot and move, and you learn, and that kind of thing. And initially when we launched this, actually when we really the day one we launched the site, is the idea originated we get 1%, and then we bumped it up to 10, and now it's going to go up even more. We're also introducing a social currency program, so that will give the collaborators remuneration as well for participating also. But really, what I'm going to move the whole system to in the near future is going to be like a freemium subscription-based model, membership-based model. So because we have these supply side users submitting ideas and collaborating, and also the demand side people of companies that want to bring them to market, universities, investors, and all kind of thing. There's a lot of value in bringing those two groups together, right? And so I think we've interviewed users of ours all over the world of what they'd be willing to pay and what else they'd want and that kind of thing. So our platform will always be free to use, always, no matter what. But all of the premium features we're going to start charging for. Right, we're a business; we have to make money too, and those will be things like the idea protection side. We, charge a little fee for some of the, additional intelligence that we'll give to users on who's viewing their ideas and what idea their market is in, and that sort of thing, and some additional patentability features that think of it very similarly to like a dating site, like Match.com or eHarmony, where you pay a base monthly subscription fee and then some additional premium fees, kind of thing. So we're going to move the whole thing to that, which makes for us a lot easier and more scalable.
Okay, Matt. Last question, or actually, it's like two questions. It's about team building in the Bay Area for a startup. We've heard a lot of times that it's really tough for startups to build a good team because there's so much competition out there. So the question is, first of all, what are you doing as a startup company to really attract good employees and to recruit them? And second is, you're now, I think, a team of 15 people, and you're still expanding. So how did that change the product itself? Because all the people that are coming in with great ideas for the product. I think they are changing the product itself, right?
That's like a couple part questions. So one is team building in the Bay Area, and I think you're going to get people that gravitate towards certain companies because they have passions. Like if you're really a hardcore gamer, you're probably going to like working at gaming companies. If you're a hardcore love music, you might like working for a music company because you have that certain passion. I find that everybody has ideas, so everybody likes to work at AHA. No, I don't know. It's a certain kind of person that wants to work at an early stage startup. There's a different, responsibility that you have to be willing to work more. It's not like a 9-to-5 job by any means. We're at a bigger company, that is more the case, I think. And there's a lot of people that talk about in the Valley like poaching, where people pull talent from other companies, and it happens a lot also. I think, if you have a cool team, people like to work with each other, that's all that matters, And if you give people the flexibility to do what they love to do, they will surprise you how fucking smart they are. They will work their asses off, and they will really surprise you. And I think I've just always tried to bring in really top-notch people that have all. It's like I think for the founder or CEO, it's like you're putting together a puzzle. You see how everybody fits together, and some people wouldn't fit very well, or you have to help them fit, or just that kind of thing, where different personality types or different people with different passions and different skill sets and all that, you're constantly adding to this puzzle, that you're assembling. So that was the first part on team building. What was the second part of the question?
Actually, the second part of the question is everyone that is going to work for a company brings his own personality into the company and all the expertise, and so the product will get changed a little when someone new is entering a company, I guess. So how has that worked out so far for you?
So any good brand should transcend from its founder, right? So usually the core brand attributes from the founder himself will transcend down through all the way down to the janitor, if he's the lowest guy on the totem pole, which he's not always, right? So I think it's good to bring in new blood because they have new fresh ideas and that kind of thing. But at the same time, the people that have been around for a long time, one of my guys has been around from almost the very beginning, also a handful of them. But then they have a different knowledge of what we're doing, a deeper knowledge, versus sometimes new ideas are really good for new things, or just consultants versus employees or that kind of thing. So I think all of the above just bring, that's what a team does. Everybody brings a different skill set to the table, and there has to be like one chief and, you know, a bunch of Indians kind of thing usually for the most part. And unfortunately, the chief's job is not always that exciting. Sometimes they have to make hard decisions and, you know, deal with issues and that kind of thing. But ultimately, you know, that's kind of like a manager's job is to be the person that everybody can go to. I think that's what builds a really quality team. And yeah.
Cool, Matt. That was like really great talk. So thanks again for having his I'm getting pretty drunk. Thanks for having you here, and all the best and good luck with Aha.
Yeah, thanks. That's cool.
Any last words?
I don't know any German, so I can't say that. Except for that one sweet band. What is it? What is the one like that really heavy band? Do you guys know what that is?
Rammstein.
Yeah, they're awesome. I don't know. No, I just think any last words is if you really want to do something, just do it. You know, it's effing hard, but just follow that, and it'll lead somewhere.